Jai Sai Ram, Sri Sai Satcharitra, Chapter 50, Part 2. Shri Tembe Swami. We came to the next story, which shows how saints love each other with fraternal affection. Once, Sri Vasudevananda Saraswati, known as Shri Tembe Swami, encamped at Rajamandri, Andhra country, on the banks of Godavari. He was a devout orthodox jnani and yogi, Bhakta of the god Dattatreya. One Mr. Pundalikarav, pleader of Nanded, Nizam's state, went to see him with some friends. While they were talking with him, the names of Shiradi and Sai Baba were casually mentioned. Hearing Baba's name, the Swami bowed with his hands and taking a coconut gave it to Pundalikarav and said to him, offer this to my brother Sai with my pranams and request him not to forget me but ever love me. He also added that Swamis do not generally bow to others, but in this case an exception had to be made. Mr. Pundalik Rao consented to take the fruit and his message to Baba. The Swami was right in calling Baba a brother, for as he maintained an Agnihotra, sacred fire day and night, in his orthodox fashion, Baba too kept his Agnihotra, Duni, ever burning in his masjid. After 1 month, Pundalik Rao and others left for Shiradi with the coconut and reached Manmad. As they felt thirsty, they went to a rivulet and drinking water, as water should not be drunk on an empty stomach. They took out some refreshments, that is chivda, flattened rice mixed with spice. The chivda tasted pungent, and in order to soften it, someone suggested and broke the coconut and mixed its scrapings with it. Thus, they made the chivda more tasty and palatable. Unfortunately, the fruit broken turned out to be the same that was entrusted to Pundalik Rao. As they neared Shirdi, Pundalik Rao remembered the trust, the coconut, and was very sorry to learn that it was broken and utilized. Fearing and trembling, he came to Shirdi and saw Baba. Baba had already received a wireless message regarding the coconut from the Tembe Swami. That is, himself asked Pundalik Rao to give the things sent by his brother. He held fast Baba's feet, confessed his guilt and negligence, repented and asked Baba's pardon. He offered to give another fruit as substitute, but Baba refused to accept it, saying that the worth of the coconut was by far many times more than an ordinary one, and that it could not be replaced by another one. Baba also added, "Now you need not worry yourself any more about the matter. It was on account of my wish that the coconut was entrusted to you, and ultimately broken on the way. Why should you take the responsibility of the actions on you? Do not entertain the sense of doership in doing goods, as well as for bad or deed, or as well as for bad deeds. Be entirely prideless and egoless in all things, and thus your spiritual progress will be rapid." What a beautiful spiritual instruction Baba gave. Balaram Dhurandhar, 1878 to 1925. Mr. Balaram Dhurandhar belonged to the Patare Prabhu community of Santa Cruz, Bombay. He was an advocate of the Bombay High Court and sometimes principal of the Government Law School, Bombay. The whole Dhurandhar family was pious and religious. Mr. Balram served his community and wrote and published an account of it. He then turned his attention to spiritual and religious matters. He studied carefully Gita and its commentary, Jnaneswari, and other philosophical and other metaphysical works. He was a devotee of Vitoba of Pandharpur. He came in contact with Sai Baba in 1912 AD. 6 months previous, his brothers Babuji and Vaman Rao came to Shirdi and took Baba's darshan. They returned home and mentioned their sweet experiences to Balram and other members. Then they all decided to see Sai Baba. Before they came to Shirdi, Baba declared openly, "Today, many of my Darbar people are coming." The Dhurandhar brothers were astonished to hear this remark of Baba from others, as they had not given any previous intimation of their trip. All the other people prostrated themselves before Baba and sat talking to him. Baba said to them, "These are my Darbar people to whom I referred to before," and said to the Turandar brothers, "We are acquainted with each other for the last 60 generations." All the brothers were meek and modest. They stood with joined hands, staring at Baba's feet. All the sattvic emotions such as tears, horripilations, choking, etc., moved them, and they were all happy. Then they went to their lodging, took their meals, and after taking a little rest again came to the masjid. Balram sat near Baba, massaging his legs. Baba, who was smoking a chillum, advanced towards him and beckoned him to smoke it. Balram was not accustomed to smoking. Still, he accepted the pipe, smoked it with great difficulty, and returned it reverentially with bow. This was the most auspicious moment for Balram. He was suffering from asthma for 6 years. This smoke completely cured him of the disease, which never troubled him again. Some 6 years later, on a particular day, he again got an attack of asthma. This was precisely the time when Baba took his Mahasamadhi. The day of the visit was a Thursday, and the Durandar brothers had the good fortune of witnessing the Chavadi. Balram saw the luster of Pandurang on Baba's face, and next morning at the Kakada Arati time, the same phenomenon, the same luster of his beloved deity Panduranga was visible again on Baba's face. Mr. Balaram Dhurandhar wrote in Marathi the life of the Maharashtra saint Tukaram, but did not survive to see its publication. It was published later on by his brothers in 1928. In a short note on Balram's life given in the beginning of the book, the above account of Balram's visit has been fully corroborated therein. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Jai Sai Ram.